Alright, welcome back everybody to Fire Emblem. We're gonna Fire Emblem it up. On this mission we get Lynn, Kent, Dane. They're all at or above 10. Hooray for me. I'm Marie! So the plan is we're gonna send our knights left. We're gonna save the village to the left. To the far left, we're gonna use our other Cavalier and or Pegasus Knight to save the other village. And then from there, we're not going to get killed by the Pegasus Knights coming down from the castle area. That'll be fun, right? Fun, diddly-um. I'm just making sure I got enough shit, and I'm gonna make sure that I'm well stocked for future battles, because with Merlinus on the field right now, I can stock up and get some extra, have some stuff in reserve. Versus later on where I might not have access to either a store, or the store may only sell, say, silver items. May only sell steel items would be more expensive with less uses, heavier, that sort of jazz. That is your plan. This level I don't think will be too difficult. The only problem is this center area with the forest, because the way the level is designed is they don't want you really to use your Pegasus Knights, so they set up trebuchets to basically try to one-shot Florina. Okay. You have, on the other hand, the forest in the center, which is going to slow down any units that are, on the ground, obviously. I was going to say even horse units are going to be a bit slowed down by that. And then towards the end, they're going to send me horse reinforcements, which are going to be kind of annoying to deal with. So we'll just have to play it out. I mean, it's essentially the same as Hector's regular normal mode in terms of reinforcements. The only difference is that they're stronger, and I'm guessing there's probably more of them in Hector's hard mode in terms of reinforcement. But if for nothing else, they're stronger, so you have to definitely give a little bit more pause and think about, well, they're coming, so how many people do you leave behind? Do you leave one person behind in the hope that they're only wielding, say, a sword, and you left a lance user behind? Or they're only wielding axes, you left a sword fighter behind, etc. No, always curious. So this is the level where, when I was originally playing Hector's hard mode, that I decided to go back and play Lynn's mode. And I say that because basically when the Pegasus Knights come down from the north, it's very difficult to take them on without keeping Kent and Dane pulled back for backup. But by doing that, you're delaying their arrival at the center village, and more than likely is going to result in that village being sacked by the brigands that are coming in from the bottom. I enjoy memes. They're funny and great. We're really gonna have to work on Priscilla here, I think. I know it's entirely based on one, how many turns do I have in the mission? 2, who needs healed? Nobody needs healed. Priscilla's not gonna get any experience. Everybody needs healed, then Priscilla's gonna get lots of experience. So, yeah. Major Rick, fuck you. Oh, sorry, you wanted in this village? You can't get in this village because I won't let you. Even though that's not, I guess, not all that important. I just feel like, nope, not playing your game today. We're gonna move on with our lives. Come back later, I guess. So, yeah, we're gonna sweep the bottom here of the brigands. Then we'll move up towards castle, take out the boss, and be done with this, I guess. And like I said, I think the only complicated part of this, at least for the team I have right now, is going to be this forest area because it's going to keep me moving slowly through the, I'm not going to be able to move as quickly as I'd like. There are obviously guys sitting in wait like this mage. Bow and arrow, the arrow user is not really too concerning to me, but he can be if you bring your Pegasus Knight in. You can send the mountain to the north of where Guy is. You could technically send guys through there, but I don't know. Not that big of a deal in my opinion. And yeah, now that we've taken the 2 villages, they're just basically the brigands are lining up to kill our guys. Not that they would have done that anyways because they're in range, but once we get past this wave, I think we'll be okay. I know there's more guys coming out of the fortress up to the top right of where we're standing right now, but should be okay to deal with those as long as we stay ahead of, we're killing more guys that are coming out of the fortress there. So, that'll be fun. Fun. Alright. In other news, I guess I can talk about other bullshit that's happening. I need to get back on the horse, if you will, start dating again. Not sure what's... I think I've mentioned before I've had some changes that have occurred. You know, my body seems to be changing the last, I don't know, couple months. I turned 40. Maybe it's just the fact that I turned 40 and my brain's going, hey, you're 40 now. It's the 40, not the 3-something anymore. But I guess I've been putting off dating for too long now because I'll try to be as honest as possible. I mean, we'll start out with the most pessimistic view on this, and we'll move to a more hopefully optimistic version of what I think. I definitely, when I was getting out of college, was not really in a great position to take care of myself, and because of that I always felt sort of inadequate or inferior in a lot of ways, because I was working sort of a minimum wage job, and though I was working 30 hours a week, that's not enough to, many people will tell you, it's not enough to support yourself in an apartment situation with your own, you know, food and rent and utilities, okay? And obviously car plus gasoline, you know. I just, there wouldn't have been any money for me, but it would have been very difficult to pay my student loans off on that salary and maintain the job I had while doing all that, you know. So I lived with my parents for far longer than I probably should have, until I was able to establish myself in a more comfortable position that I was able to afford a place to live and be comfortable enough with the wages that I made that I can not only afford my house, but I can afford to take care of my car, and I can afford to pay my utilities, and at the end of the day, if something comes up and my refrigerator dies, or my washing machine stops working, or I need to have someone come in to do emergency plumbing work on my drain or something, I've got excess funds that I save each week in case something like that arrives, so I'm not ever truly in debt. You know, I put money on my credit card occasionally, but I don't, at the end of the month, I pay that amount off. So if I make a big purchase like I did about a year ago when I bought my computer, my new computer, that gets paid off. That money was saved, that money gets paid off, you know, that purchase gets paid off at the end of the month. But I waited, again, to be pessimistic, I waited a little too long because, like I said, at first I was working a minimum wage job, then I was working in a call center, then I was working for a manufacturing plant, and now I'm working in my current job, which I've been at for about 7 years. Now, between the time when I worked minimum wage, which was about 5 years, and now, I have not been able to keep a job longer than, say, about 2 years. The first one was because the call center I was in was very demanding. It was a very demanding job, and I don't know if it was the philosophy of the call center, but for them it was cheaper to hire new employees, train them, than to continue to try to improve the employees they already had on staff. And I may have mentioned this in a previous playthrough, you'd have to really probably look hard for it, I think, because I don't think I've mentioned it many times, but there were 30 kids in my training, or 30 adults, I guess I should put, in my training class, call center training class. And by the time they let me go, about a year and a half to 2 years later, I was one of 3 people that were still remaining that had either A, not quit, or B, not been fired. Because it was a very difficult environment to work in, and my hope was that by working in the call center, I could transition into a regular desk job within the larger company conglomerate. And that just ended up not happening. Because once you were in the call center, you were in the call center. You could move up within the call center, but you could not move out of the call center. And if you were to go and talk to the company I work for, which I won't disclose, at least right now I won't disclose, they would say, "Oh no, you just have to talk to your HR person. You've worked for a year. You know, if you did some good work, we could definitely look at getting you transferred to a different department, a different part of the company, etc., etc., etc." And that just did not happen because I had to schedule an HR appointment ahead of time. I had a schedule, okay? And when I scheduled the HR appointment and I went to go see the HR representative for my meeting to discuss about this, he had taken that like a half day. So he completely fucked me on my meeting. And so when I tried to reschedule the meeting, he had scheduled it out for like a month or 2 later, and by that time I had switched teams, and the call lead I was working under, again, they found pretty much any reason to get rid of you. I was too soft on the phone. I basically wanted to make the customer happy, but when you work in a call center and they want their money back because they were charged a fee, typically the companies also also banking on the fact that people are going to mess up and we are going to charge them late fees, and no, we're not going to give those back. And it doesn't matter if you've been with the company, you know, you've been with, I'll give you an example that's not the actual one I'm talking about. You know, you could be with your cable company for 30 years and you miss a payment because a check gets lost in the mail or something. And it doesn't matter that you've been with them for 30 years. If company policy says if you're late, you pay a late fee, there is no exception to the rule. There is exceptions to the rule, but only if you have, if you're really, like for instance, say you are, I'm going to use the cable example again. Say you're a basic cable subscriber. You basically pay the basic amount of money given to the cable company or the satellite company every month. You're not getting your fees back. If you're, say, someone who's in the top tier and you've been with them for many years and never renegotiated your contract, and you've been at the top tier for all those years, and you subscribe to HBO or Stars or something extra, or the cable satellite companies get an extra kickback because of you've been such a yeah, they'll give you the whatever fee back. They'll give you the $30 back one time. But you gotta be that you're the you know the goose that lays the golden egg. We can't lose you. But you know, I will put you under the knife to see if I can extract gold out of your belly if you're late more than once. So there is no such thing as having a hard time in this world, because between people actually occasionally needing a helping hand and people, I'm not going to say are lazy, because I certainly don't believe that people are inherently bad or lazy. But there are people out there that are trying to take the most of the system. The system gives them a yard, they will try to take 2 yards, you know? And then when they only get the 1 yard, they will take the 1 yard and complain about it. You know, instead of, you know, trying to actually work for that extra mile, that extra yard, whatever you want to, whatever analogy you want to go for. You know, they're going to be people like that. They're always going to be like that. They're going to try to take the easy road. You know, let everybody else take care of me. I don't need to, you know. And you either have to accept that as a fact of life, that some people are going to game the system, or you're just going to have to become cold-hearted and realize that the people that really do need your help in your community, in your country, are just going to have to get fucked. Because you can't see the layers of difference between A and B. You just see everyone as being a lazy fuck. Oh boy, look at this. Now I just realized how badly I've tangented out of the subject. So what I wanted to talk about was I gotta start dating again, because I haven't dated in probably 10 years. And the amount of dating I did even at that time was sort of limited. But I don't know. It's not very sexy. And maybe it's more normal nowadays. I don't know. But, you know, it was when I was getting out of school in, you know, the late aughts, 2007, 2008, 2009. You know, we didn't know at the time we were going into a recession. And it was understood that you were going to go to college, be successful, and then you were going to move on with your life. And I made other mistakes along the way. It's not the economy's fault. I'm not going to blame the government. I'm not going to blame anyone except myself for the situation I ended in. Now, I understand I was also a victim of the circumstances I had, but I didn't really give myself many options either, because when I graduated, you know, I sort of... I didn't do a very good job of making connection. I had friends in college, I had friends in high school, but when I was done with school, I moved back to southwestern Pennsylvania, which was away from where my college was centered. And the people that I knew weren't the people that lived in my area anymore. So I couldn't just call up an old college roommate and go, "Hey buddy, you know, do you want to get an apartment together somewhere?" And, you know, because I wasn't able to find work immediately, and by immediately I mean like I was probably about 3 or 4 months in, and my loans were starting to come in, and I needed something to start paying my loans back. But again, this is a bit of an excuse and a bit of a real life. I'm telling you what it felt like at the time. You didn't live with your parents coming out of college. I mean, I understand it's become more normal because the nature of housing and rent and everything else has just gotten so much more expensive. It's very difficult it was difficult then to live alone. Even if you're living in a little studio apartment, you know, you might be paying $800, $900 a month for it. And that was back in the day. Good luck finding an $800, $900 apartment anymore. You know? And again, I'm strictly talking about Southwest Pennsylvania. I'm not talking about California or some big city in New York where you're paying probably 2, 3, 4 times the amount I just named for some piece of shit shack that has enough room for your bed and a mini fridge. But again, it was a bit of a disgrace. And then, you know, the few people I did date in my 20s, you know, when the subject came up about it, it was always sort of like a ew. Like that was a red flag for them. And, you know, right or indifferent, it made me really motivated, you know, particularly as I got more mature and I was able to get control of who I was and stop letting the people around me. This is again me talking about this is sort of it's going to be sort of, well, what you're saying is hypocritical to what you're trying to get at, and I get that. I get the fact that the people that I was seeing, that was a red flag for them to want to, you know, to be working a minimum wage job out of college. You should be more successful. You know, the perception was you went to college, right? Then why are you working a minimum wage job? And now it seems, looking now, I go to Chipotle, I go to Moe's, or, you know, I go to any fast food place. There's plenty of kids that are either in high school or somewhere in their 20s working at these places, probably because they can't seem to find work anywhere else. And I can't say that they're all fucking retards or stupid people that didn't pay attention in school or didn't go to college, or this is what they deserve because they weren't hard workers. You know? I'm not going to say that that's because you see people that work, and you can. I'm not going to say you can stereotypically look at them and go, oh yeah, that guy definitely didn't graduate high school. But in the same capacity, you can look at some of these people that are well dressed. You know, they fit in society, but you know, and it's not like they're, you know, druggies for any stretch of imagination, and this is their last straw, blah blah blah. But you know, I focus so much on furthering my career that I'm thinking that eventually something would happen. I would meet somebody through work. I'd meet somebody through friends, through coworkers, and either a combination of me not getting out there enough and not just going out and partying, having a good time or whatever. And I don't know if that would have even worked, to be honest. But I let too much time pass. And because I was, again, I worked at, you know, the call center for 2 years. Then because the company I'd work after that, which was a manufacturing plant, and I was doing their accounting work, downsized, I ended up losing my job. So, like, I wanted to make sure I was really, really secure in the job I have now. And I feel very secure in my job now. I don't feel like they're going to let us go because, and our company keeps expanding. So all that's just super positive news. But you see where my character flies. I'm so afraid of rejection and failing again that I've put off something I should have done 5-10 years ago, you know, when I was in my 30s. And now I'm starting to wonder if it's too late for me. And I know it's not too late for me, but you gotta wonder sometimes when you hit the big 4-0 and now all of a sudden the websites are matching you up with women in their late 40s, mid 40s, and you know you're never gonna have children with them because they're getting ready to hit menopause. So, I don't know. I gotta figure that out, what I want.